Charles Bronson. The name alone conjures up an image of a rugged, no-nonsense tough guy whose intense stare and unwavering resolve captivated audiences for decades. Many fans admire Bronson not just for his action hero persona, but also for the quiet charisma he brought to every role, a presence that could command attention without needing lengthy monologues. Have you ever wondered what truly set Charles Bronson apart from his contemporaries? It was his natural ability to convey strength and vulnerability in the same moment, making his characters feel grounded and real. From westerns that defined a generation to gritty urban thrillers, Bronson's filmography offers a broad spectrum of cinematic gems. In this countdown, we'll take a closer look at the top 10 best movies of Charles Bronson, exploring the performances, behind-the-scenes stories, and the lasting impact these classics have had on cinema history. Whether you're a seasoned Bronson aficionado or completely new to his work, get ready for a thrilling journey through the roles that turned him into an enduring screen legend. Red Sun, 1971. Let's kick off our list with a movie that's often overshadowed by the more famous westerns of the era, yet remains a prime example of Bronson's adaptability. Red Sun. Directed by Terrence Young, this unique western merges the flair of the Old West with the elegance of samurai culture, creating an East-meets-West cinematic treat. Here, Bronson plays Link Stewart, a quick-triggered outlaw who teams up with Toshiro Mifune's samurai warrior in a race against time to recover a priceless sword. Have you ever thought about how iconic it is to see two legendary stars of different cinematic traditions share the screen? Many fans were amazed to discover this cross-cultural pairing back in the early 70s. What makes Red Sun stand out is its blend of action, humor, and mutual respect between Bronson's gunslinger and Mifune's disciplined samurai. Their chemistry brims with unexpected camaraderie. One moment they're at each other's throats, the next they're saving each other's lives. Bronson's rugged persona is on full display, perfectly balanced by Mifune's poised intensity, and both actors shine in their action sequences. Critically and commercially, Red Sun garnered attention for its fresh twist on the Western genre, proving Bronson could handle not just the grit and gunplay, but also the cultural interplay. If you're looking for a Bronson flick that's more than just shootouts and standoffs, Red Sun offers an entertaining voyage into an East-West partnership that's as compelling today as it was in 1971. This tense crime thriller, directed by Michael Winner, casts Bronson in the role of Arthur Bishop, a professional hitman who carries out his assignments with an almost clinical precision. Did you know that Bronson was so immersed in this character's mindset that his few lines of dialogue speak volumes about his capacity to command the screen without uttering a word? The film's opening sequence is a masterclass in silent storytelling as we follow Bishop meticulously planning and executing a high-stakes hit, all without a single line of dialogue. Bronson's haunting stillness throughout this extended scene keeps audiences hooked, illustrating that the most gripping tension can come from what isn't said. Another fascinating element is the relationship between Bishop and Steve McKenna, played by Jan Michael Vincent. Steve is a younger, more reckless version of Bishop, and their teacher-apprentice dynamic adds layers of psychological complexity, culminating in a thrilling confrontation. Critics praised Bronson's understated yet potent portrayal, noting how it redefined the assassin archetype for future action films. If you love your action laced with cunning strategy and dark undertones, The Mechanic is a must-watch that still resonates in today's era of fast-paced thrillers. Death Hunt, 1981. If you're looking for an edge-of-your-seat action piece set against a brutal, wintry backdrop, Death Hunt might be your perfect pick. Starring Bronson as Albert Johnson, A quiet trapper who becomes the target of a massive manhunt in the Canadian wilderness, this film combines real-life legend and tense on-screen drama. Co-starring Lee Marvin, the movie thrives on the cat-and-mouse chase between Bronson's hunted survivalist and Marvin's relentless lawman. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be pursued through a frozen terrain by an entire posse? Death Hunt gives you that experience from a front-row seat, capturing the relentless cold, the isolation, and Bronson's unwavering resolve. Filmed on location in Canada, the harsh environment is as much a character in the story as the cast themselves. Bronson's portrayal of Johnson is layered with resilience and moral ambiguity. He's portrayed as neither fully innocent nor entirely guilty. This ambivalence keeps the tension flowing from start to finish. Lee Marvin also excels, bringing an intimidating presence of his own. It's fascinating to see two veteran actors at the top of their game, each playing a man unyielding in his mission. The film was not only a commercial success, but also gained a cult following among action enthusiasts who appreciate Bronson's stoic brand of heroism. For anyone interested in a chase movie with a stark survival twist, Death Hunt remains a riveting watch, shining a spotlight on Bronson's knack for playing characters who thrive when pushed to their limits. Death Wish, 1974. There's no discussing Charles Bronson's best roles without delving into Death Wish, the iconic film that sparked one of the most debated franchises in cinema history. In this raw and gritty urban thriller, Bronson portrays Paul Kersey, a mild-mannered architect pushed to the brink by a brutal crime against his family. Did you know Death Wish was such a cultural lightning rod that it ignited conversations about vigilantism, crime, and justice that continue to this day? What makes Bronson's performance so unforgettable is how he transitions from a peaceful, liberal-minded citizen into a hardened vigilante almost overnight. The film is unflinching in its portrayal of a crime-ridden New York City, emphasizing the desperation that drives Kersey to take matters into his own hands. Beneath the vigilante veneer, we see the anguish of a man struggling with the ethical implications of his actions. The gritty realism on display adds another layer of tension. Each scene leaves you questioning the moral lines Kersey crosses. Many fans were amazed to discover that the movie's release generated a massive public discourse on self-defense and vigilantism, some supporting Kersey's perspective, others condemning it. Bronson would go on to reprise this role multiple times, but the original Death Wish stands as the stark, powerful classic that cemented his status as one of the definitive action stars of the 1970s. Point 5. This property is condemned, 1966. For an earlier and sometimes overlooked chapter in Bronson's career, This Property is Condemned offers an intriguing glimpse into his range, proving he could hold his own in a dramatic ensemble before his household name status in the action genre. Directed by Sidney Pollack and based on a Tennessee Williams one-act play, the film co-stars Natalie Wood and Robert Redford, placing Bronson in a cast known for deep emotional drama rather than gunfights or stunts. Are you curious about how Bronson fares in a setting where the spotlight is shared among multiple strong performers? In this Depression-era story set in a small Mississippi town, Bronson takes on the role of J.J. Nichols, providing a rugged counterpoint to the movie's more romantic elements. Though he's not the main focus, Wood and Redford carry the primary storyline, Bronson's performance stands out because it reveals a softer, more human side that contrasts sharply with the stoic tough guy image for which he later became famous. Critics often regard This Property is Condemned as a hidden gem in Bronson's filmography. It's fascinating to watch him alongside such prominent dramatic actors and see that even then He had the raw screen presence to leave a strong impression. If you've ever wanted to explore Bronson's wider acting chops outside of high-octane action, this film is a rewarding watch that underscores his versatile talent. 1975. Set in the back alleys of Depression-era New Orleans, Hard Times showcases Bronson as Cheney, an itinerant street fighter who uses his fists to survive. Directed by Walter Hill, this film is steeped in an atmosphere of grit and desperation, reflecting the economic struggles of the era. Have you ever thought about what it would be like to earn your living with bare-knuckle brawls when all else fails? Bronson's portrayal of Cheney is powerfully minimal. He's a man of few words, but unstoppable determination. One of the most fascinating aspects of Hard Times is its focus on the underground fighting circuit, captured with the raw physicality that only Bronson could deliver. Every punch feels real, every bruise earned. Yet beneath the tough exterior, Cheney remains a sympathetic figure, forging an unlikely friendship with Speed, played by James Coburn, a fast-talking hustler always chasing the next bet. Together, they navigate the dark corners of New Orleans, from shady bars to secret back rooms. Critics celebrated the film for its tight direction and Bronson's immersive performance, calling it one of the finest portrayals of a street-smart loner surviving by his wits and fists. This is a movie that doesn't just highlight Bronson's action prowess. It also underscores his ability to convey dignity amid tough circumstances, making Hard Times an enduring favorite among fans of gritty period dramas and realistic fight films. The Dirty Dozen, 1967. An essential entry in the war film genre, The Dirty Dozen lines up a who's who of classic Hollywood tough guys, including Lee Marvin, Ernest Borgnine, and Telly Savalas. Charles Bronson stars as Joseph Wladislaw, one of 12 hardened criminals recruited for a dangerous World War II mission behind enemy lines. Have you ever wondered what it would take to take a band of misfits and turn them into a lethal commando unit? This film vividly answers that question. One of the pleasures of The Dirty Dozen is watching Bronson stand out amid such a powerhouse cast. His character, a military prisoner convicted of shooting a deserter, strikes a balance between stoicism and bravery. The camaraderie, and sometimes conflict, among the men drives much of the movie's tension and humor. Though it's very much an ensemble piece, Bronson brings the same intensity that would later define his solo ventures. The mission itself is classic war movie fare. Infiltrate a Nazi stronghold and wreak havoc, providing a narrative loaded with suspense and explosive action sequences. Critics and audiences alike praised the film for its high-octane blend of drama, dark humor, and large-scale battle scenes. It became a massive box office success and has since been revered as a war movie staple. For Bronson fans, it's a joy to see him hone the tough, silent persona that would soon make him an action icon. The Magnificent Seven, 1960. Charles Bronson's role in The Magnificent Seven is perhaps one of his earliest brushes with the iconic Western hero status that would follow him throughout his career. Directed by John Sturges, this American remake of Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai tells the story of a ragtag group of gunfighters hired to protect a small Mexican village from ruthless bandits. Bronson stars as Bernardo O'Reilly, a skilled gunman whose conscience and sense of duty set him apart in the group. Many fans were amazed to discover how strongly Bronson's role resonated with audiences, even though he shared the screen with heavyweights like Yul Brynner, Steve McQueen, and James Coburn. Despite limited screen time compared to some of his co-stars, Bronson's presence is memorable, particularly in scenes where he bonds with the local children, reminding viewers that beneath his tough exterior lies a protective, empathetic soul. There's a memorable moment where Bernardo chastises the village kids for calling their fathers cowards, pointing out the harsh realities that ordinary people must endure. This blend of moral integrity and no-nonsense action proved irresistible to viewers, helping to solidify Bronson's rising star power. The Magnificent Seven remains a timeless Western classic, celebrated for its epic storyline, iconic score, and top-tier cast. It's no surprise that this film propelled Bronson down the path of becoming one of Hollywood's go-to figures for brave and resilient characters. The Great Escape, 1963, yet another collaboration with director John Sturges. The Great Escape is a war epic renowned for its tension, ingenuity, and ensemble cast. The film chronicles the daring real-life mass escape of Allied POWs from a German prison camp during World War II. Bronson plays Danny Valinsky, nicknamed the Tunnel King, whose claustrophobia intensifies the already challenging task of digging underground tunnels. Did you know that Bronson himself had claustrophobic tendencies due to childhood experiences working in coal mines, which added an intriguing layer of authenticity to his performance? Surrounded by equally magnetic stars like Steve McQueen, James Garner, and Richard Attenborough, Bronson holds his own in a role that requires a blend of technical skill, fear, and determination. The movie devotes considerable time to the escape planning, allowing Bronson to demonstrate his character's commitment to the cause despite his growing psychological struggle. This tension comes to a head in the climactic sequences when everything is on the line, freedom or capture. A major box office success upon release, The Great Escape quickly earned its place as one of the top war adventure films of all time. For Bronson, it was a crucial stepping stone toward the international recognition he would later enjoy, proving he could deliver a nuanced performance in a sprawling ensemble and more than hold his own. 10. Once Upon a Time in the West, 1968. Finally, we arrive at what many consider to be Charles Bronson's definitive masterpiece, Once Upon a Time in the West. Directed by the legendary Sergio Leone, this film is an epic operatic western that explores themes of vengeance, the unstoppable tide of progress, and the mythic grandeur of the Old West. Bronson takes on the role of Harmonica, a mysterious drifter whose haunting harmonica tune serves as both his calling card and a chilling prelude to impending violence. Have you ever been captivated by an entrance so iconic that you immediately know you're witnessing history in the making? Everything about this film is grand, from Ennio Morricone's sweeping score to the dusty, cinematic vistas Leone captures with his trademark close-ups and long takes. Bronson's performance is quietly mesmerizing. He barely speaks, yet every gesture and glance is loaded with tension and backstory. The chemistry between Bronson and Henry Fonda, who plays the ruthless villain Frank, is electric, their showdown representing not just a clash of individuals, but a battle between the Old West's savage past and the emerging modern age. Critics often cite Once Upon a Time in the West as one of the greatest westerns ever made, praising its complex storytelling, stylistic flair, and unforgettable performances. For Bronson, the film encapsulates everything he brought to the screen: intensity, mystery, and a certain timeless quality that solidified his status as a cinematic legend. Have you watched all 10 yet, or are there a few you're planning to add to your queue? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button to let me know you want more top 10 movie lists. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more videos.